If you thought Tommy Egan had already hit his limit, think again. What's coming next will shake everything we thought we knew about. Power Book 4. Force. Season 3 isn't just going to raise the stakes, it's going to burn the entire game down. The streets of Chicago are about to explode with betrayal, revenge, and power like never before. Tommy has built his empire on chaos, but this time, even he might not be able to control it. Everyone wants to be the king, but there's only one throne, and the war for it is about to begin. Season 2 left the streets, covered in smoke and blood. Every move Tommy made came with a cost, and by the end, it felt like the entire city was ready to collapse on top of him. He came to Chicago looking for a fresh start, but what he found was a battlefield. Every corner has an enemy. Every deal hides a knife behind a smile. Tommy doesn't just fight for money anymore. He fights to survive in a city that doesn't forgive mistakes. He's built an empire with his bare hands. But the foundation is cracking. Diamond is still trying to keep control of his crew. But loyalty is a dying language. Jennard's fall from power didn't end his hunger, it only made him more dangerous. He's lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right time to strike. Meanwhile, Claudia Flynn isn't done playing her game either. She's smart, cold, and has something Tommy doesn't, connections that go beyond the streets. The balance of power is shifting, and one wrong move could send everything crashing down. But here's what makes Season 3 feel different. The war isn't just between dealers and gangs anymore. It's turning into something bigger. Something that crosses lines Tommy never wanted to cross. The cops are watching. The cartels are listening. The old enemies from New York are paying attention. Everyone's eyes are on Chicago, and Tommy's name is in every whisper. He's become a legend. But legends always attract bullets. What's crazy is how Tommy keeps moving forward, no matter how many bodies drop. He's a man who's lost almost everything. Family, friends, and peace. But that's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't fear death. He's already lived through it. That energy, that fire, is what makes Season 3 unpredictable. It's not just about who wins or loses. It's about who can survive the chaos long enough to rule it. Season 3 feels like a storm that's been waiting to hit. Every broken alliance, every deal gone wrong, every lie told in Season 2 is coming back around. Tommy's enemies are smarter, faster, and more ruthless than ever. And this time, it's not just about money or power, it's about revenge. Someone's coming for Tommy. And when they do, the city won't be big enough for both of them. The streets of Chicago don't forgive, and they don't forget. Every action has a consequence, and Tommy's list is long. He's made allies out of killers and enemies out of family. But that's the world he chose, a world where loyalty is rare and death is always close. In Season 3, Tommy will have to decide what kind of king he really wants to be, because in this game, you either control the streets, or they control you. Tommy Egan isn't your regular hustler. He's not the kind of man who dreams small or plays safe. He's built from chaos, raised in fire, shaped by loss, and powered by rage. Every season, we've watched him turn pain into fuel, betrayal into motivation, and blood into business. But in Power Book 4, Force Season 3, something feels different. Tommy isn't just chasing the crown anymore. He's becoming the storm that everyone's been trying to survive. What makes Tommy so dangerous is that he has nothing left to prove. He's already faced death more times than most people can count. He's lost Ghost, the only brother he ever truly trusted. He's buried the people he loved, fought his own demons, and somehow, he's still standing. When a man like that walks into a room, everyone pays attention because you can't break someone who's already been through hell. That's what makes Season 3 so thrilling. Tommy isn't trying to run from his past anymore. He's learning to use it. He's not just a soldier now, he's a strategist. Every move he makes feels colder, smarter, and more focused. You can see it in his eyes, that mix of grief and ambition. He knows that in Chicago, there's no room for weakness. You either control the chaos or become part of it. The city feeds on power, and Tommy has finally learned how to play its game. He's building something real this time, not just a crew, but a legacy. Something that can stand even when he's gone. But power always has a price. Every time Tommy climbs higher, the air gets thinner, and the enemies multiply. The same people who once feared him are now plotting behind his back. Old friends are becoming strangers, and new alliances come with silent traps. It's like playing chess on a board made of landmines. One wrong step, and everything explodes. But the thing about Tommy, he's never been afraid of explosions. He thrives in them. That's what separates him from everyone else in the game. Still, you can feel the change in him. The rage that once blinded him is turning into focus. He's starting to see the bigger picture. How every street deal, every betrayal, every loss connects to something larger. The city isn't just a battleground, it's a kingdom. And every king needs order. That's the dangerous part. When Tommy starts thinking like a ruler, not a soldier, the game shifts completely. He's not reacting anymore, he's planning. He's not waiting for problems, he's creating them for others. And yet, beneath all that fire and fury, there's still a man who feels the weight of his ghosts. The faces of everyone he's lost. Ghost Lakeisha, Liliana, they haunt him in the quiet moments. You can almost see it in the silence between his words. That guilt drives him just as much as ambition. He wants to win, not just for himself, but to prove that all that pain meant something, that it built something worth dying for. Season 3 feels like the moment where Tommy finally accepts who he really is, not just a survivor, not just a hustler, but a man who was born to rule the streets, no matter the cost. But here's the twist, power doesn't come without isolation. The higher Tommy rises, the lonelier the road becomes. The trust fades, the love disappears, and all that's left is the sound of his own footsteps in the dark. That's the real tragedy of his story. The closer he gets to the throne, the more he loses the humanity that once made him different. You can't build an empire and keep your soul clean, and Tommy knows that better than anyone. Season 3 won't just be about Tommy fighting others. It'll be about him fighting himself, the part of him that still remembers what it feels like to care, and the part that's ready to burn the world down to win. The war outside mirrors the war inside, and for the first time, the question isn't whether Tommy can survive the streets, it's whether the streets will survive him. Every time Tommy Egan takes a step forward, someone else tries to pull him back into the fire. That's the rule of the streets. The higher you climb, the more targets you paint on your back. But this time, the danger isn't coming from one direction, it's coming from everywhere. Season 3 of Power Book 4. Force is setting up a war where every player, every alliance, and every secret has the power to flip the entire city upside down. Chicago isn't just Tommy's playground anymore. It's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. What makes this season feel different is how the enemies are changing shape. They're not just gangsters with guns or dealers on corners. They're the kind of people who make moves in silence. Business owners, corrupt officials, people in suits who smile while they set traps. Tommy's empire has gotten big enough to catch the attention of people who don't fight in the streets, but in boardrooms and backrooms. These are the players who don't shoot first, they destroy reputations. They pull strings. They make people disappear without leaving blood behind. Tommy's world is expanding, but so are his problems. At the same time, there's no war without allies. Tommy knows he can't take over Chicago alone. And Season 3 will test who's truly loyal to him and who's just pretending to be. Diamond is the wildcard.com on the surface, but full of quiet rage underneath. He's seen enough betrayal to know that peace is just a pause between battles. If Diamond sticks with Tommy, they could own the city. But if he turns, it'll be a war no one walks away from. Their brotherhood has always been built on respect. But respect doesn't stop bullets. Then there's Claudia Flynn. Cold, smart, and more dangerous than she looks. She's not the type to stay down for long, and everyone knows she's planning her next move. Claudia's kind of power isn't about muscle, it's about control. She knows how to use people's weaknesses against them, and after losing everything her family built, she's hungry to take it all back. Tommy and Claudia have always been two sides of the same coin, both ambitious, both ruthless, but there's only room for one of them at the top. Their alliance is like gasoline sitting next to a lit match. Sooner or later, it's going to explode, but the real storm might come from the outsiders. New faces who see Chicago as a goldmine waiting to be claimed. Rumors say a new cartel might step in, looking to use Tommy's network as their own. They're organized, unpredictable, and not afraid to get bloody. The question is, will Tommy work with them or go to war against them? He's never been good at playing second to anyone, and that ego might be the spark that lights the next major conflict. What makes this setup explosive is how personal it's becoming. These aren't just wars over corners or product. These are wars over trust, legacy, and revenge. Everyone Tommy's hurt, everyone he's betrayed, everyone who's lost something because of him, they're coming. Some want payback, some want closure, and some just want to see him bleed. It's the kind of chaos where every handshake could be a setup and every deal could be the last one. Season 3 isn't just about who wins Chicago. It's about who can survive it. Every alliance Tommy makes could be the one that saves him or destroys him. And for the first time, the question isn't whether he can take control of the city. It's whether the city will even be left standing when he's done. The streets are shifting. The balance is breaking. And every character is about to face a choice. Stay loyal, or stay alive. Because in Power Book 4, Force. Loyalty doesn't last forever, but revenge does. And this season, revenge is the language everyone's about to speak. Every story in the Power universe is connected by one thing: the hunger for power. From Ghost's rise in New York to Tarek's struggle in Power Book 2, every character is chasing the same thing: control. But Tommy Egan is different. He doesn't just want control, he wants freedom. And that's what makes Power Book 4, Force Season 3 so unpredictable. This isn't just another chapter in the saga. It feels like the story everything else has been leading to. The ghosts of the past are walking back into the light, and the entire universe feels like it's about to collide in Chicago. For years, fans have been waiting for the moment when Tommy's world and Tariq's world meet again. Two men shaped by Ghost, one his brother, the other his son. One built from loyalty, the other from survival. Imagine what happens if their paths finally cross. Tariq is learning to think like Ghost, but Tommy still moves like a soldier. If those two ever face each other, it won't just be a reunion, it'll be a war of generations. A clash between what Ghost created and what he left behind. And Season 3 might finally open the door for that meeting. Power fans know this. Dos sentido, coincidences, everything is a setup for something bigger, but it's not just Tariq who could return. There are whispers that familiar faces might reappear, people who once shaped Tommy's destiny in New York. Maybe an old ally. Maybe an old enemy. The streets remember everything, and in Power, no one truly disappears. Tommy's past has always been his biggest enemy, and Chicago is the place where those ghosts could come back to collect their debts. Every decision he made in the past, every betrayal, every death could come knocking this season. And if that happens, the emotional weight will hit harder than any bullet. Still, the biggest question isn't about who returns, it's about what Tommy becomes. In the Power universe, every main character has a moment where they transform completely. Ghost tried to go legit and lost everything. Tariq tried to outthink the game and got trapped in it. Now it's Tommy's turn. Does he stay the ruthless street king who kills first and thinks later, or does he evolve into something more? Something Ghost could never be. Season 3 feels like the breaking point where Tommy either builds his empire into legend or watches it fall apart piece by piece. What's wild is how this season might expand the entire Power map. For the first time, Chicago could become the center of the universe, the meeting point where storylines from Power Book 2, Ghost, Raising Cannon, and Force all begin to connect. Imagine the chaos if players from different cities start moving into the same territory. It's like watching the universe fold in on itself, every storyline crashing into the next. Fans have been guessing about a crossover for years, and Season 3 feels like the moment it could finally happen. Tommy doesn't know it yet, but his story is part of something much bigger than Chicago. Then there are the fan theories. Some believe Ghost isn't truly gone, that he's been in hiding, waiting for the perfect moment to return. Others say Tommy will face someone from Ghost's past who forces him to question everything. A few even think Tariq and Tommy might be forced to work together against a bigger threat. And as crazy as those theories sound, nothing in this universe is ever impossible. Every shocking twist we've seen from betrayals to resurrections started as a theory once. That's what makes Power so addictive. It always finds a way to surprise you. But at the heart of it all, Season 3 will remind everyone why Tommy Egan became a fan favorite in the first place. He's raw, fearless, and brutally honest in a world full of liars. He doesn't fake his power, he earns it. He's the last of a dying breed, the kind of man who doesn't hide behind words or money. When Tommy wants something, he takes it. And that's why the fans love him. He's not perfect, but he's real. So when the new season hits, expect more than just gunfights and double crosses. Expect a storm that ties every thread of the Power universe together. Expect emotions, history, and legacy to collide. Expect Tommy to face his destiny head-on, no matter how bloody it gets. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just another season, it's the moment when everything comes full circle. The story that started with Ghost is about to end with Tommy. And when it does, one thing's for sure: the Power universe will never be the same again.